Hello and welcome to Music Box. My name is Malik. I'm your host, and each week we sit down and talk to musicians about their life, work, and hobbies while we don't doodle jam. And this week I have two-fourths of the band Haunter. How's it going?
Pretty good. We're stoked to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. I'm glad you were able to make some time for us.
Absolutely. So out in podcast land, I'm seeing both of your faces, but people in podcast land can't. So can you say your name and what you do for the band so everyone can kind of put voices to names?
Sure. I'm Lucy, and I'm the vocalist of Haunter.
I am Enoma. I am the guitarist and founder of Haunter.
Awesome. So I wanted to start this like off the bat and just say I love just the sound and the energy of the band there, and just having that combination of rock and electronic. Like I am a huge fan of both those genres in different aspects, but also to see them merge in such a unique and interesting way. I just want to start off the bat and just say that both like the whole band, you an absolutely amazing job, and I can't wait to see what you guys have in store with Go. So I've been listening to you guys all day, and even before then to prep for the interview, but all day I've been listening to the remixes, the songs.
Nice.
And so I just want to give a shout out up top there.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We're all kind of like rock and metal people, so it just, when we decided to make pop, I feel like it just kind of bled over in a nice way, you know. Got that flavor in there, a little spicy, you know.
For sure. I mean, looking at the bio for the band, I see some former emo kids and one metalhead. So I mean, I feel like I have to ask, who is the metalhead?
It's me.
There we go.
Surprise. Yeah, I have a metal band called Apotheca here in Houston. So I'm in two bands, pop band and a metal band, and a tattoo. So that's basically my whole life, pretty much.
Gotta keep him busy. So I mean, in terms of just bouncing around with genres, like how do you feel when it goes from working on two genres for people might initially seem like, oh wow, like pop leaning music and then having metalcore, like hardcore music, like might seem like worlds different, but there are people who can like love and appreciate both. I mean, like how do you make that switch to like different genres and what each band might entail for what you need?
I mean, really, it's not, to me, and this is just me, I'm kind of a hippie, so to me, music is music. I don't care what, genre it all runs together now. You know what I'm saying? There's like country pop and like goth cholo music or whatever. So to me, there's like no genres. I just want to make good music. I don't care if it sounds more, pop or more metal or whatever. To me, it's not really that big of a transition. It's just like something I really enjoy, and whatever the instrumentals are kind of dictate what I'm doing. But to me, it's all just music. I have, no preference, and it's just fun for me. So it's not a big, like, I also sing like country. I love singing jazz. So I mean, literally everything. For me, it's just, I love to sing. So whenever I get to open my mouth and make notes, like, it's not really that big of a difference between the two. And most of the fans, like, because I've been in Apotheca longer than I've been in Haunter, but my fans that I met with Apotheca also really love Haunter, which is crazy. Like I tattooed a guy yesterday that I've known for like 10 years. And he was like, we were literally listening to your songs on the way up here for Haunter, and that stuff just goes so, he's like tatted down, like old metal guy with like a huge beard. He's like, dude, that shit goes so hard. So it definitely crosses over pretty easily, I think. So not a big jump for me, but a lot of people are surprised when they hear me actually singing all these high notes when they're used to me, screaming or whatever. So it's an interesting transition, but not a difficult one, it's just fun for me.
Absolutely. I mean, so it's been, when I was trying to do like some peeking around, and I saw that the Twitter existed since 2017. So I mean, how long with the band existing for around that long, from just going off like that estimate, I mean, how do you feel the band has evolved over time from like first forming the band to now?
Oh man, goodness, that's a hell of a question.
I mean, hard-hitting questions here.
Right? Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I don't know, it hasn't really changed that much for me. To be honest with you, I don't really pay attention to what other people are doing. I just pay attention to like my own art. And I don't know if that's like an asshole thing to say or not, but it's the truth. I don't really pay attention to like industry or like what people are wanting or what people like or what their, preference of music is or like how it changes through time. I don't really like lean into that. I just kind of, I do my own thing, I guess. So hasn't really changed a whole lot for me because I do whatever I want. So has not changed a whole lot. Like I probably sound like an asshole, but but it is what it is. I'm just being honest.
No, not at all. So I think for me, like when I started Haunter, like I definitely had like a really solid vision of where we would go and what we would look like, sound like. So I think we've just really remained true to that. Like the things that you're seeing, like a lot of times bands will kind of just like put out the first 5 songs they ever wrote together, and like that's an EP, and they ride that wave until they can afford to do a full length. Like, but with Haunter, I was really super intentional about banking a lot of songs. So we're slow rolling it and releasing everything. So everything that you're seeing is a result of being really meticulously curated, like from the photos that we put out to the graphic art that we collaborate with our guy Cameron, to the songs that we're releasing. Like we're releasing them in a certain order, and it's all part of a bigger picture that will be revealed one day. Like there's a lot in the chamber, and there's still a lot to share. But as far as our evolution, like what you're seeing is just us executing like a vision that I've put together, and a kind of a plan that I had for us ever since the inception of the band.
See, he's the more like analytical one, and Enoma likes to plan. He wants to be ahead of the thing, and I'm just like chilling.
You need both
Literally
of those in a
just a
band.
hippie. I'm a hippie in the wrong era, so I'm just hanging out, like,
Yeah,
but
I let me worry about the logistics. Like
yeah, that's the things that I'm not good at. I just know how to sing like all right, so that's all I got. I know what my strengths are.
I feel that pain. My day job is just like a lot of writing, and so I'm just like, my mood and da 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 da. And then I have my managers like, you can't do this. We need you to write something like today.
Right, like you have to do this. Thanks. Like,
Yeah.
not really much of a choice, but that's all right. Like
I
I like
have
being
to.
under pressure like that though. I think, do you work well under pressure, do you think? Like when you're writing under pressure, or is it hard for you?
I think I exclusively write under pressure.
That makes sense. No, that does make sense. At least you can still do it because some people can't like perform like that. You know what I mean? So that's really cool for you, actually.
It's
Well, I
cool
think
from
Lucy, you do really well under pressure. I mean, when you think about like the way we write and record our songs, like you come in pretty much under the wire, like to do
Yeah.
any of this stuff. Like I don't think we give you enough shine for that.
Thanks.
So I'll share a little bit. Just part of our writing process is like Lucy really doesn't hear any of the music for the songs or the demos until she's ready to record vocals. Like she won't hear ideas until like literally she touches down in LA and we're at the studio with our producer, and that's the first time she hears like 99.9% of all the material.
what?
Yep.
What?
I might get like a chord progression or something beforehand, but even then, like 90% of the time, it's like changed by the time I get there. So I kind of get like a little tiny peek, but that's about it. Just yeah, it's pretty. What's the word? Just like I don't know. It's just kind of
It's
it comes together
spontaneous.
magically. Yeah, there you go. Very spontaneous for sure. Like I told them that I kind of prefer that because when I hear something so far in advance, I have time to just sit there and think about it and think about it. And I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Just take my time and kind of dwell on it. And then I start thinking too hard because I'm like an anxious person. I don't know if y'all know what that, well, I know Anoma knows what that's like, but kind of an anxious person. So I don't want to sit there and just have the time to freak out about it. So I would much rather work under that pressure and just hear the songs on some nice speakers in a good studio where I'm going to feel the music the first time I hear it instead of just listening to it like in my AirPods or, you know, my car or whatever. I like to, I like for my first impression just to be there at the studio, get the energy from the songs. I kind of write down like keywords as I'm going as far as like energy or whatever, what, you know, like what I'm hearing with the chord progressions or just the kind of the vibe and the energy of the song. Like, is this, I'll write down like heartbreak or bittersweet or romantic or whatever, and just kind of write a song based off of those things. So I appreciate working under pressure. It's honestly, I feel like I work better like that because I don't have the time to like think about it. I just, you know, whatever comes first is a lot of the time what's right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I hate to just be like, yeah, it's just easy for me, but I mean, it's like it just flows out. Like I told Enoma, he's like, man, sometimes I have trouble like writing lyrics, like coming up with stuff. And for me, like as soon as I sit down, it's just like just flows out of me like water. You know, as soon as I get like the energy of the song, it's like game over. You know, just super fast with the ideas and working with Tyler and Enoma and everybody else is, you know, we all at least have one great idea per song, so it works out pretty well, really.
Yeah, like Lucy and I will, like Lucy and I write the majority of the lyrics rather. Like Lucy definitely comes in with the lion's share of the work, and then I'll come in with like, hey, this is kind of where I was thinking or what I was feeling, and usually she and I are pretty aligned off the jump as far as
Most
like
of the time,
where
yeah.
we are with like
Mhm.
kind of where we are just emotionally and like what feeling the song inspires. And so like we're really able to give a lot of back and forth. Like she does, again, I gotta give credit where credit's due. She definitely does the lion's share of the lyric writing, but like I'll come in with suggestions on lines or how we can turn a phrase. And then you know,
Mhm.
we're fortunate enough to work with Tyler, who is an insanely talented producer, songwriter, and an
It's
amazing human
ridiculous.
being. Absolutely ridiculous. And so the three of us will like just start vibing and then just get really excited about ideas and just be able to bounce things off of each other. So, and it's cool because, you know, working with Tyler, like he has this saying, just like embrace the suck, which is
Yeah.
really cool because it's literally all about like, hey, don't self edit. Like,
Mhm.
like why would you like put a stopgap on your creativity? Like, get the idea out and let it sit in the context of the song. And if it works, great. But if it doesn't, you'll know pretty quickly whether or
Right.
not that like feels right. Or it's like, ah, that line feels weird, or
Mhm.
a rhyme scheme or that cadence just doesn't help the flow. What if we do this or what if we do that? And like we've created an environment where we're all fearless. Like
Mhm.
no one is sitting there with like an ego or being like, oh, this is my idea and I want this because it's mine. It's more of like, hey, I think this sounds cool. Y'all let me know what's up. And we either like rock with it or we don't. And then we're
Mhm.
just like, okay, cool. That wasn't the idea for the song, but
Yeah.
I'll get it on the next one.
But we'll try like everybody will, you know, throw out their ideas. We'll try literally anything as long as it's whatever's best for the song. Like none of us are biased and like, well, my idea is better. We just kind of we try literally everything and see what it sounds like, and whatever sticks, sticks, man. You know? That's about as simple as I could put that. It's
For
pretty
sure.
fun.
I
Yeah.
mean, how long did it take to get there? I mean, I'm not assuming that everyone was walking in with egos when starting with the band, but like, how long did it get to that point where all of you trust each other to be like, okay, hey, like, no bad ideas, like, throw what's out there, and like, let's explore and play and see what comes up in these songs?
I think that was pretty instantaneous, really. I mean, honestly, we didn't, it's kind of crazy, but we didn't really know each other like before we went and recorded. So I think me and Noma played a show together. I was in a band and he was in a different band at House of Blues in Houston. And we didn't really know each other. He messaged me like 2 years later or something and was like, hey man, like it's me and Noma from this band. Remember me? And I was like, oh, what's up? And randomly it was just like, I remember your voice and I was wondering if you would be interested in being in a pop band and going and recording in LA. And I was just like, all right. Like just literally that random, like out of nowhere. So I think we met like twice or something before we actually like met up in LA. So not really knowing each other kind of forced us to trust each other because we're like here in this random studio in another state with random people, random videographer that I don't know. And I'm just like, all right. So random.
Yeah.
So it pretty much I'm not gonna say forced because it didn't feel forced at all. It felt natural, but it definitely, came pretty naturally to like put everything out there because, just like Tyler said, he was like, there's no bad ideas. Just throw everything out there. And I'm not scared to do that. Even if I think an idea is like maybe terrible, like maybe it's not, so of course we're artists and we all doubt ourselves. So like
Absolutely.
You're a good artist if
throw
you
everything out, and it works. It does work.
Yeah, like it was weird. Like it was weird how quickly we just trusted each other.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of happened. Like Lucy and I had barely known each other. Like our bass player Mark, he and I had known each other for maybe handful of months before we went to go record. But like even then, we didn't hang out a whole lot. And then our guitarist Mike was actually like one of my best friends. And even then, like when we first started, like he wasn't even like in the band. He just kind of came to shoot video and take photos, and then just kept making really cool suggestions on the music, and just kind of like it fit the vibe, and we all got along really well. And we're just like, do we want to try to do this like for real? And it just kind of worked. Just right out the gate. It's weird.
Yeah. I guess that means it was meant to be, and it just works out like so easily and so randomly like that. I try not to fight the universe, and that was just one of those things that happened. He asked me, and it's funny because I was already thinking about starting like an R&B project or something, and then I was like, I want to try something different, and just I was like, okie dokie, so here we are.
Is that the name of the album?
Like do I say it again?
Is that the name of the album, Okie Dokie?
Right, okie dokie.
Yeah. So the working titles for the album are Okie Dokie or Fuck Around and Find Out.
Yes.
Pretty solid names.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly like low-key, I was joking, but that might just be it.
Fuck Around and Find Out might go hard.
Yeah.
We have a joke that when people have little PP energy, we just tell them that they're all sack. Like you're all sack.
You're all
someone's
sack.
face.
We're
no cack, all sack. Like we kept saying a full 6 months of that. No cack, all sack.
no cack, all sack, and then Michael, what the fuck?
Oh, that was a good one. Oh man.
Oh man, honestly,
poor Michael.
Poor Michael.
R.I.P. Mike. Sorry.
Yeah, we did kind of run that one into the ground.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. That was our fault. Anyway.
No, you're good. If these episodes had titles, I would call this episode All Sack. But not. There's no episode titles, but I wanted to shift gears a little bit. Enoma, you mentioned that when we release things, releasing things for the band, it's all piece of the puzzle for a larger picture. So I wanted to talk about the latest piece of the puzzle, which is Go. And so I want to talk about the process of that and the headspace. And I mean, Lucy, you mentioned that you write down like words and things that come to mind when you first hear the song. So What was the process of coming up with the song, and like what were some of the words that you wrote down when you were listening to the track for the first time and seeing where it was at?
Oh man. So crazily enough, me and Enoma are always going through like the same things in life at the same time for whatever reason. And at the time we were both kind of going through like breakups, separations, whatever. And so when we were sitting there, we both got like, I think the first word that I wrote down for this honestly was bittersweet was the first thing, just because the chord progression was very like, sounded very kind of like not quite sad, but just kind of like reminiscing about stuff. I was writing down things like old times, like kind of thinking about like the past and kind of being really nostalgic was another word. It was very, yeah, the bittersweet was I think really honestly the first thing that I wrote down for this song. And it is, it's like basically the message of the song is like leaving when you just know that it's time to leave, but it's saying that I'm still all right and I'm still going to keep going, which is why the song is called Go. Like we might have to go, but I'm still going to go either way. Like we're going to be all right. So it is very bittersweet. It's kind of sad, thinking about, separating, but at the same time, there's always growth from that. So that's literally what this song is. So bittersweet, I would say, is like the key word for sure. That's, yeah. I think that was actually the first, like literally the first word I wrote down. So
Yeah,
like
like
it came together pretty easily for us, I think, really.
yeah. So when I'm thinking about that song, there was a lot of like, so yeah, to kind of piggyback on what Lucy was saying, was just like, it is a lot about just literally letting go of like things that don't serve you or things that just kind of weigh you down, because we really were at this point in our lives where people were trying to distract us from our purpose. You know what I mean? Like it was all fun and games. Like there's a lot of times like if I get involved with someone, and God, this is gonna sound so fucking like egotistical, but like people who like the idea of being with an artist or a musician until it's time for them to create art.
Yep. Nope.
And and then when you're actually away, like, because like we don't do this full time yet, but so they get the allure or the bragging rights that come with dating quote unquote a creative that's actually trying to do something. And they're like, oh, it's so great, it's amazing, it's awesome, like aren't they so talented, until it's time for us
you have to deal with it,
until you actually have to do the work. And then you're away for a few weeks at a time and you're not answering their phone calls or responding to their texts because you're actually working. Like you're doing the thing that you say fills your cup and leaves you inspired. And like the thing that they supposedly fell for you for, they're now trying to hold against you because you're not making time for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it was like we were both dealing with like people who were trying to drain us of our energy at the time. And like I get it because they're not creative, so they don't understand it. But that shit's whack.
Yeah.
It's fucking whack. Like all we wanted to do was take time for ourselves and for our closest friends to write songs that meant something to us and to have a cool experience. Because like, not to, I get maybe fuck it, maybe even like really to brag, like the fact that we're an unsigned band working with a producer that's literally Grammy nominated. Currently, this dude has 2 tracks, 1 and 2 on the fucking hot like trending rock songs in the fucking country right now. Like on Billboard. Go look that shit up. That is
His
certified.
name?
That's Tyler Smith. The band is Falling in Reverse. Like those are fucking facts.
Yep.
Those are fucking facts. And the fact that me and my small fucking band is like in LA taking up his time working on songs, like I don't get that shit regularly. That's not an everyday sort of thing. That's a once a year type shit.
Right.
And
it's special. Yeah, for sure.
It's special. But someone was trying to drain us of our energy at that time. They're like, I don't care that you're with this person, that you're doing this one thing that you're excited about. You shouldn't be worried about that. You should be focused on me and what's going on at home. And it's like, fuck that. I can't. Like, I straight up can't. Like, I know
fuck that.
Like, it is. It's real. Like, I mean, so we wrote that song from that perspective. It's not that we don't care, but this time that we have is fucking precious. And what we do with it, like, it does wonders for us. Like, I can't tell you like how the work that we get to do with Tyler, like, fills all of our cups, because we realize that it's special. We realize that we don't get a lot of opportunities to do something at this level, you know? And so when we're there, we're focused, we're locked in. So
it's very much work. Very much work, for sure. People are like, oh, cool, LA, yeah, party. And I'm like, dude, literally, it's like a full-time job. It is dope, you know, it's sick, but it's definitely a lot of work. Like, we don't go out and like drink, get wasted. Like, it's definitely just like 9 to
it's the job. And we take that shit seriously, because like when you think about not just like who he is and what he's accomplished, but it's like, just like he's our friend and making time for us. So we're not gonna sit there and just be like, oh, well, we'll just fuck off for the day. It's like, no, we've got 2 weeks to churn out 3 fucking amazing songs. So we better get to work.
Yep.
So that requires us to be very present. And so Go was written from a perspective of like having people trying to distract you from like what your current purpose was, which was to focus on music, focus on the art and your craft, and be really present in the process, and being able to say, hey, I may still care for you, but what you're doing right now is going against my purpose, and I can't be around someone like that.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, at the core of it, we just want to make art, you know, and we're both just dealing with that. So literally, like, this song was coming out of like living, like, the lyrics, read the lyrics, we were literally living that experience like as we were writing it. So it was definitely felt very real. Like, hearing it when it was done being recorded afterwards, I was like, man, this is kind of a lyrically like very hard hitting. Like, it's very still like kind of upbeat, like lighthearted, you know, but the lyrics are like pretty heavy, really. So it came from that, you know, trying to keep it upbeat while it's not upbeat, you know what I'm saying? And realizing that you just can't do that for people. So that we were definitely living the same thing at the same exact time. So it came really easily for us, for sure. Very natural.
Both of you mentioned that it's a lot of work to go to LA, and like when you're there for those 2 weeks and like you're working on tracks, it's a lot. But I also wanted to touch on the aspect of like, once the songs are done, it's getting your name out there. It's like going to do, we talked about it a little bit before, like going to do the TikToks. It's going to like get your name out there. It's going to do stupid little podcasts like this.
Nah, you're great.
I mean,
I know, but
I'm like, well, thank you, no. But I mean, when it comes down to like that aspect of like, after the songs are done, after you have the vision for the project and where you want to go, and having to find a way to repeatedly reintroduce yourself to people to try and get more attention and try to get people to like be aware of the projects, like, how does that feel? What's the process for the band, and like, how does it feel?
I'm gonna let you go first, Enoma.
So I think I think for me, like, it is work. Like, I literally will get up, I'll wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I check the socials. Like, I'll check our TikTok to see if anyone's left us like comments, and I'll be like, okay, cool, I got to get back to those. Or if I haven't tweeted in a while, like, I'll just really, like, I mean, you've seen my tweets, like, I just write whatever ridiculous, unhinged bullshit that I can think of.
But it works.
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes I'll get like a random shower thought, and I'll be like, oh, this this will work. Right? I basically just treat the band accounts like my own personal account, and I'll just say whatever shit comes to mind, like whatever caption I think of. I'm just like, cool. I'll just throw that out there into the ether and see if it sticks, because like I figure or I feel that like someone will fuck with it. Like I don't want to edit myself. Like everyone kind of finds, like, your audience will find you if you're making enough noise.
Yep.
And that's tough sometimes because it feels like you're screaming in space a lot.
Yep.
Like
a lot of competition out there. But
yeah, it's not even just competition. It's just literally like there's so many things that take people's attention. Like it's people have their own shit going on, and like you've got to do something really unique or funny or interesting or something that connects at the right time with the right person to go to hit that light switch and be like, oh wow, that was really cool or funny or interesting or weird, or that's a thought that I had, and they're like, let me look into it, let's dive deeper. And then they start realizing there's this plethora of content from this artist that like started saying something that made them at least be like, oh, you know, I kind of wonder what they're about.
Yeah.
And then they start digging, they start looking into your, let's say if they find this on TikTok, they'll be like, most people, for some reason, I don't understand how Spotify got so heavy in the game, but like Spotify and TikTok, like literally the thing that I hear the most like through our comments is like, let me tell you how fast I ran to Spotify after I discovered you. And like they're looking and they're seeing all of our songs, or they're like, oh, hey, I saw you on this TikTok and then I went to go check out your Instagram or your Apple Music or your Amazon page. Like, and there's just this discovery that's happening all through that. And then once they say, okay, I rock with this piece of content, I see them putting out a bunch of other stuff like this. Oh man, this band is really good. Like they actually have a bunch of stuff that like no one knows about yet. And they feel like they're in on the ground floor now. And so they're part of something cool and part of something big. And that's exciting. And so it's been really cool to be a part of that. And it only just kind of stems from us being kind of our weird, authentic selves and just fucking around and finding out.
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah, it's just kind of trial and error. And I mean, we've seen kind of what people gravitate towards. So we just kind of go with like whatever people are responding to the most. And like we were saying earlier, it's not always the things that we're expecting that are going to pop off. I don't know why that's the way it works, but it's just totally random what people are into. And it's really hard to, I mean, as we all know, it's like really hard to keep anybody's attention and hold that attention for more than, 5 seconds. So it's like whatever we're doing, we're just trying to think about, if anybody heard 5 seconds of this song, we have to make that wherever that 5 seconds is in any song, that shit better slap. So, I mean, it's like for the social media, like, of course we kind of have to figure out what people like, but as far as the music, we pretty much do what we want with that. I think when people find out like what we have and what we sound like and that, we don't suck as people, it's pretty hard to fail. You got good music and you don't suck. Like all it takes is being like existing, basically, you know what I mean? So that's the thing, just keep, and like Enoma was saying, keep rolling out these songs that we've had, for really a couple of years now. Like this song, how long have we had this song for, Enoma? Like,
so Go is actually like 4 years old.
Yeah. So we record like way ahead of time. So we're hoping that continually doing that in the future, we're always going to be releasing music. Like we're never going to have a 6-month period or whatever where you're not going to hear anything new. So I think it's just keeping that repertoire of material for people to look at. So when they do find that interest in whatever random thing it is, that we have enough for them to go and look back on and learn kind of who you are, because of course, once people learn who you are, like I said, if you don't suck and you got good music, well, it's got it going on. That's all it takes,
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot more than that, but you know, the bare bones of things. Just don't suck and don't be a douche. You know, you'll be all right.
That's how you get started.
I mean, it is
Basically,
what it is.
because I'll also say this: the scene is smaller than you think.
That's very true.
Smaller than
Yeah.
it's much smaller than you think. So the relationships that you foster, they matter.
Yep.
They matter. So just like Lucy was saying, don't be a dick. Like, yeah, there's a reason for that because
Yeah.
Yep.
somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who's like, oh yeah, either that person's fucking awesome or yeah, don't fuck with that person because they're a piece of shit.
Yeah, there's
Yep.
so much connective tissue between like especially DIY bands. Like in Twitter, like there's like a whole circuit of just people who are doing amazing things and are supporting each other and uplifting each other. And it's so cool to like kind of be on the outskirts and see that and like see all these people like going for it. I mean, you guys included, going for like, releasing music and wanting to do more.
Yeah, like there's so many, God, dude, there's so many talented bands.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like and like it's not a crowded marketplace. Like don't get me wrong, yes, there's thousands of songs being released every single day, yada yada yada. But like I think the thing that's been really cool is the fact that like, you know, before like a couple of years ago, like it was always like every band for themselves and the scene was really cutthroat and it was really like a lot of like negativity because it was like this group of people stole our fans and fuck this band because we have silly fucking rap beef with them. Like the energy was so toxic and so negative. And
Mhm.
what I love to see now, especially with like the DIY bands that I see on Twitter, is a lot of fucking love for each other. Like they are just in there cheering each other on and rooting for each other and celebrating everyone's wins. And
Mhm.
it's like that's the way it should be. We talk about building a scene. Like the scene only thrives when everyone lifts each other up, when everyone supports each other, when everyone's like, "Yo, this band is sick. They just dropped a single. Like you should listen to that. Like we love them. You should love them too." Like
Mhm.
the only way we all win is if we all collectively realize that like yes, we're all friends, and yes, we there's a fair amount of crossover, but there will always be things that make us unique from the other band, and we'll find our people through that. So
Mhm.
like the things that make us unique, we'll find the people who really fuck with us, and those super fans, those will be the things that propel our career. But the things that offer a lot of crossover, let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the fact that like, you know, this band from LA fucks with this band from Baltimore, who also fucks with this band from Texas. Like it's all related and we're all just cheering each other on. And that's super cool.
I love it. Yeah, we're like it's like a big fat family of all different genres, really, which is super sick. So it's pretty as like we're saying, like even the world itself, like is a lot smaller than you think. So, you know, we're just gonna keep not sucking and keep not being pieces of shit. And we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed. Absolutely.
Right?
So shifting gears, we talked about like what people are looking for in like the music they find and like getting attention. So I wanted to ask both of you, how do you find cool, interesting music?
For me, really, and this is probably really lame, but I go to Spotify and will find bands that I like and just click on whoever it is radio, and of course they have like, you know, similar bands. That's honestly how I do it. I'll go to different playlists, you know, search different artists that are like really kind of small, like we're talking about like DIY bands, and then from there put on their radio and it just pops up random shit and I'll just listen to everything and whatever piques my interest, man, I'll go follow them and you know, subscribe to their YouTube and do the same thing that I hope they do for us when they hear our stuff, you know. But yeah, I mean, honestly, mine's through Spotify. I would say like 95% of the time, and the other 5% is either live shows or like YouTube. You know, just like the next thing pops up, and you're like, "What is this gift?" You know, like to be surprised. So Spotify, man, that's definitely the number one. What about you, Noma?
So for me, it's a combination of things. It's either I found them on so Twitter has been a real big a big way for me to discover like some of the DIY bands that I'm really like super into. So it's either Twitter or TikTok or Instagram, or I don't use Spotify, I use Apple Music, but like I love Spotify Discovery. For
Hmm.
me, really like the bands that or the artists that I've really started kind of connecting with have all been bands or bands I've seen mentioned on Twitter, because that's kind of where a lot of my randomness lives, and it's probably the app I check the most next to TikTok. So I've been really dialed in on that, and I've just found really cool bands, and I just like well, throw them into like Apple Music or Spotify, and I'll find a song, and I'm just like, oh, I really rock with this, and then I just try to honestly, I try to make friends with them. Like I literally am only on Twitter just so we can like be friends with bands that I like.
Hell yeah.
That's literally it. I just want to be friends with people.
For sure. I mean, so we're already kind of in this vein. Who are some bands or artists out there that you feel like deserve more love than they're currently getting right now?
Oh
Oof.
man.
Okay.
Mine are all metal. So
I mean, there's no genre
No,
here for the
go.
show. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, go off.
one that's already pretty decent size, but I think is an amazingly impressive band is Hiatus Coyote. It's very much like experimental. It's got like jazz influence. It's very just like super chill. They're amazing. Definitely go listen to them if you haven't heard them. It's a female fronted and she's got a beautiful voice. The instrumentals by themselves are just beautiful. So Hiatus Coyote, and then man, who else after that? That's the first one that popped up in my head. Enoma, go. I'm on the spot. It's like as soon as you try to think of stuff, it's just like nothing. Like what do you want to
So
listen to? And you're like, Freebird.
I mean, so number one with the bullet is our boys from Florida, Never Tell.
Mhm.
Like,
They're great.
oh my God, holy shit! Talk about an incredibly talented band. Like they are what I feel Linkin Park could have been.
Oh,
They're pretty
Like
great.
they're great. Like they are straight up amazing. Like
Mhm.
not only are they just like genuinely great people, but holy
Definitely.
fuck, they produce their own music and their shit sounds amazing. So them for sure.
Mhm.
After them, definitely got to give love to my boys from North Carolina, Lowborn. Like they write some incredibly catchy pop songs. Like just like oh my god, like there's the song Catching Feelings or the song It's You or hell, it's June 9th, like in about an hour, they're dropping a new song called I Hope You Hate It. And that shit is
Nice.
like it's super catchy. I've heard that chorus so many times, like I'm just like, yo, this chorus hits. Like they
Yes.
are so good. They are so
They
good.
are.
I guarantee you need to check them out. Like they're legit. So Never Tell, Lowborn, I would definitely say like In the Morning for sure. Like Amanda and her team based out of LA, Honey Revenge based out of LA, House Parties from Dallas, they're fucking great. God, there's so many bands. Like I mean, if you're not also shout out to some Baltimore bands, Nightlife. If you're not rocking Nightlife, like
Nightlife
I
is
don't know what you're doing.
yeah.
I don't
Missing
know
out.
what you're doing. Like
Nightlife.
they're
Oh,
crazy good. That dude's voice it's audio silk.
I got
Yep.
to
It is
interview Hansel for my old podcast, like right before New Low dropped, and I did not realize how much of just like a miracle that was because we were in like a group chat and like, oh yeah, we have an EP coming out, and so they were gracious enough to be like, hey, yeah, I'll be on the podcast, and amazing people, and also just amazing music, and I can't wait
Oh
to
yeah.
do. And I mean, Hansel's also just killing it as a producer. As a producer, like Hansel Romero, chef's kiss.
yeah, no, he's insanely talented. Like, and they're so crazy good. Like, Nightlife is so crazy good. I would definitely be remiss if I didn't give love to our boy Julian and Dylan from Loveless. Like, but they don't need our help at this point. They've blown up.
They're doing all right. Yeah, they'll be all
They've
right.
blown up to the point where like I'm honestly surprised that they answer my text.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
very
they're
easy. Yeah,
they're
definitely.
blowing up, but Julian is such a fucking force of nature. Like literally so insanely talented, so insanely driven, smart. They execute at a high level. Like they're crazy. Like if you like love that type that scene music, like they are the perfect example of all of that done well, extremely well.
For
Like
sure.
they're incredible. God, there's another band that I literally just found out about like the other day. Like I'm actually like hopping into my Apple Music to make sure that Versus Me. Like literally, Lucy, I actually need to send you their Spotify.
Okay.
Holy, like literally holy dick. Like their song Down is fucking crazy.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go check
Like
them out. Yeah, send me a link because I want to hear it now.
yeah, I'm
Look it
doing
up.
it now because I don't want to forget it because and they're friends of ours because it's all like just bands that we all kind of like know each other through one person or another, or we have a bunch of
Right.
mutual friends. But like, yeah, I just sent you their Spotify link to their song that I've known them for a while, but I just really like did a dive on them, and man, that song hits.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
it hits. Like it's very much metalcore, like very much in the vein of like I Prevail.
Okay.
If you fuck with that, you're gonna fuck with this song. Like
Nice. Sick. No, it's gotta be good. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
I've heard my phone go off, so I'm ready to listen as soon as we're done.
yeah. And then let's see another band. Like now, this band is signed to Epitaph, but like I've started kind of like trying to become friends with them. Oh, two other bands. Sorry, like the list goes on. So there's another band from North Carolina called Forever May Fall. They've been super supportive of our band and showing us a lot of love. So I would be remiss if I didn't return the favor. Like they're super kind. Cole and his wife, like they're like this amazing team. They're just writing really great like hard rock songs. Like it's solid stuff. It's really good. And then who's on? Oh, Magnolia Park from Florida. Like they're fucking crazy good. Like they're signed to Epitaph, so they're doing all. They're gonna be all right,
Yeah.
you know. But
That's sick. Good for them.
but they're so cool, and their singer Josh and I like we've bonded over anime. Just of all things, we're both, you know, black alt kids from the scene, like who definitely know what it's like to grow up and like not fit in and like
Yeah.
love anime and all this geek shit, and then we just connected on that, and I am excited for them because I really do think that they're going to do something crazy huge.
Hell yeah. Good for them. That's so sick. You're so nice, Enoma.
I love bands. I love music, and I love us having like a really healthy scene because we didn't have that like when I was like it sounds like kids, but like they are kids to me. Like I didn't have that when I was their age and growing up in the scene. Like it was really cutthroat and toxic and not supportive. And now everyone is super inclusive, everyone's super inviting, everyone wants everyone to win. And so it's cool to be the elder emo in all of this and to see them all like thrive and support each other. It's fucking beautiful.
It is. It's so nice. Like every time I go to a show, there's always like just somebody that knows somebody, and then I meet a friend of a friend, and then they become a friend. It's just like a big old family reunion, a family you didn't even know you had. Like I think we're pretty lucky, you know, really, because it's not all everybody just hating on each other now. So pretty nice.
Sure. So I have the last question of the night. And this is a new segment because I was fucking around with my roommate while I was getting ready to record. And like he was like, I was like, what's the question you're gonna ask the band? And he just stood there and he asked the question. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? From now on, for every guest I interview, I'm going to ask him to give me a random question to ask the band. And This is the
That's
first time we're
cool.
doing it, so we're gonna see how it goes. And if it goes well, we're gonna keep doing it. And if it doesn't, you'll never hear the segment ever again.
All right.
Alan's
Try
question
it out.
for you guys was, what is your favorite condiment?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise?
Easily.
Really?
Mayonnaise, bro. I'm sorry. Just mayonnaise on French
What?
fries.
On
mayonnaise in
French
a-
fries?
Bro,
What?
it's a French thing. My family is French. My great grandparents came from France, and it is amazing.
I'm not trying
Straight
to
up.
French shame, but mayo on
Uh,
fries?
Yeah, what in the caucasity are you talking
I
about?
know, bro. I know. I knew somebody had to say it. Your
That
bitch
is
likes
literally
mayonnaise.
like,
Your bitch
Lucy,
likes
that I
mayonnaise.
swear to you, that is the whitest thing I think I
I
have
know. My
literally ever heard
grandma's
in
the
my
one that
fucking
told
life.
me that. Look, I thought it was disgusting when I was a kid because I would always see my grandma like, yeah. I'm like, that's like nasty. Not Miracle Whip, actual mayo. And it's delicious. It's so good. And I had another Cajun family that I was friends with, and they put mayonnaise in their beans and rice, bro. Like,
So
it
I
was
don't like
What?
beans and rice.
hard.
Beans and rice has enough seasonings where that would add a nice level of creaminess to
It's
it.
like,
So like,
right. Well, you
so
gotta
so
think like crispy fry, creamy, man, it's good, man. It's kind of salty, Yeah.
You're fighting a battle alone here. I'm sorry.
I know.
yeah, you are alone
I
and
know
by
I'm
yourself
always
on
alone.
that shit.
I also like love anchovies and like really bitter shit. So I know I have weird taste buds. That's okay though.
Yeah, like honest shit. I'm honestly reevaluating so many things like that.
Right? You're like, yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah,
You're
that.
gonna ban for someone for years and you don't know their favorite condiments, mayos. This is why you come to this
Like,
podcast to get the hard-hitting information
yeah,
about your family.
seriously,
Whole reason.
you think you know someone?
Right?
Honestly,
Yeah,
What do you
that's
think
for
I
what
was
sure.
the?
gonna say?
I was like, I've had this person next to me for this many years, and this is how they think.
And this is how you let me down?
What the? Yeah,
Hey, listen, you've been talking
I'm
a lot, so you gotta come up with the heat. Well,
oh
what's your
no, like
condiment?
I'm not gonna front. I'm a basic bitch with the shit. Like I'll be very real with you. Like I like mustard, yeah, simple yellow mustard. Like
Mustard? Okay.
yeah, like it's a weird thing because like I like mustard. Like it's great on sandwiches. I also dip my fries in it. Like it's I don't know, it's a nice like alternative, like to me, like to ketchup. Although Whataburger spicy ketchup is undefeated.
That shit is so hard, bro. You know what?
I will fight someone over that. Like
Straight
you
up,
don't want these hands. You don't.
I didn't know, speaking of Whataburger, that they have my second on the list would be the jalapeno ranch from Whataburger because I didn't know it existed. And then my best friend Stephanie got like little nuggets and she's like, "Can I get a side of the jalapeno?" And I was like, "What is that?" And I tried it, hands down, like one of the best shits on the face of the planet. Like, definitely try it if you haven't had it. It's delicious.
Absolutely.
Go try it, bro. I'm telling you. It's better than mayonnaise with your fries.
Full circle.
Well, I mean, anything's better than man.
Yeah.
What? You know what? I'm just mad about the wrong thing.
I'm gonna be quiet because mine's is demon hours.
What is it?
Horseradish.
What?
Oh man.
Because I'm thinking about like a good like roast beef sandwich or like just with like that horseradish.
See, that does slap on a roast beef or on oysters, TBH.
Okay, nah, you lost me there.
See, nobody like. I just eat everything.
All right, really? Okay, no. Time out. So oysters are the line. You're gonna throw something as ridiculous as horseradish. Like the fact that you threw out horseradish, you're like, oh, we're like mayo, mustard, horseradish. Like,
right? That was
yeah, that's the fucking. That's the haymaker of the whole conversation.
Why do you think I was very quiet?
Honestly, you were right to be reserved. That's
You're like, good. Keep that to yourself.
Oh man, oh boy. we're taking this to some very real places right now.
This is why you
Right?
start. This is why you end with this type of question, because if
It's
you
the
start it
best.
like this, the trust is dissolved. It's too late now. We
Right.
can't
Yeah,
do this.
we
Imagine trying to do an
we're
hour of this after we talked about this.
yeah, we're burning bridges left and right with this.
Or maybe it might be the good intro. We'll see. I got to experiment with the segment. So this is.
I mean,
I'm
let's
sorry that you're
again.
being.
That was fun. Yeah. No. Now I
Yeah.
know. Horseradish, bro.
Yeah, I'm
I got shit
Poor-
for my mayonnaise, and like, you like a root? You like a root, bro? You
Yeah.
put that bitch in a blender. He said,
I'm getting, how am I getting
Yeah.
inflamed on my own
Right.
podcast? What the fuck?
You're just
Oil.
like spicy dirt.
I want to eat my sandwich and be like, why is it spicy?
Oh my
my
god.
God.
Great. Spicy fruit, spicy dirt. That's amazing. I mean, yeah. I do like horseradish though. I'm not gonna lie. Horseradish
See?
is still my heart.
Exactly.
Look, I will live on an island by myself without horseradish. Like,
I'm just
and be
not about
perfectly
it.
okay with that. Like, just
Well-
no.
Well,
I-
again, it depends because I'm granted. I'm not putting it on my fucking fries. I'm not
Right,
putting
yeah.
horseradish on fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe not fries. That sounds a little weird.
Put it
But
on
Yeah.
sandwiches and sandwich like objects.
there you go. Sandwich like objects. Hot dogs. Oh shit. I found it.
We have
Oh,
gone off the rails.
You know
It is-
why? Because I live in Second Ward and there was just a notification that somebody got shot down the road from me.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that yeah, we both live in the hood, so we're
Welcome to Houston.
in the Heights,
Yeah.
Washington Heights.
Yeah, right?
But I
Yeah, that
think
shit
with
is-
that, we've opened up. After opening up Pandora's box, I think we need to close it quickly.
Yes. before
Guys,
we
go
back.
both of you, thank you so much for being in the podcast. This was so much fun. Please go and check out the
Yes.
latest single. Go wherever you stream cool music. Haunter.
Woo!
thank you so much. This was a
Thanks for having
blast.
us, man. That was a blast. Even
Anytime.
though it was horseradish, we still love you.
Honestly, I'm just not. That's just doesn't sit right with me. That just seems like a mistake. Like, are you sure?
Yes. Did I stutter?
You did not. You
He's
you
proud.
said that with some confidence.
I said with
like
some
that.
bass in my voice.
Yeah, you said it with your whole chest.
Horseradish. Let's go.
Just-
Horseradish.
Horseradish.
Voice, though.